My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Let's get this show started. Now, President William Ruto says the enactment of a law on conflict of interest is a bold step in the war against corruption, setting clear rules that ensure public officers serve with integrity, transparency, and accountability. By anchoring enforcement of the law under the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Ruto says Kenya is strengthening institutions and restoring trust in public service. He spoke while assenting to the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and the Social Protection Bill 2025 in State House, Nairobi. On its part, the Social Protection Bill creates a unified rights-based framework that guarantees non-contributory support for vulnerable Kenyans in all stages of life, ensuring dignity, equity, and resilience, and coordinated by the national government and counties.
This is a very momentous occasion for Kenya, that after the passage of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Law several years ago, today we are stepping up the fight against corruption by passing the Conflict of Interest Law that now gives power to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption to take charge of matters, wealth declaration for all public officers, now not just in the executive, but also in the legislature and in the judiciary, to also make it illegal for officers serving in positions, whether they are in the judiciary, the legislature, or in the executive, to abuse the authority they have in their offices and to undermine the rule of law and abuse the resources that the people of Kenya have put together, and make sure that every resource, every coin, every cent, every shilling that is paid as taxes by the people of Kenya or in any other manner is used only for the intended purpose, and that no such resources find their way into private pockets or private enterprises. And that is why this is a very consequential moment in Kenya, that we are stepping up the use of public resources in the right manner and making it that much more difficult for people to take advantage of the offices they occupy.
Now to something that has got the nation talking tonight. The National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, is proposing a ban on the sale of alcohol online in supermarkets, residential premises and areas, restaurants and basic education, tertiary as well as higher learning institutions. This is part of sweeping new measures outlined in a national policy to combat alcohol, drug and substance abuse, released on Wednesday by the Ministry of Interior, which targets aggressive marketing strategies, which the authority says normalize alcohol use. The proposed regulations outlaw price promotions such as discounts, free samples, flat rate offers, as well as volume sales common in bars, supermarkets, and online retailers.
So in terms of housekeeping, a bit of your press.
As we launch this policy, I urge everyone present and indeed all Kenyans to embrace its tenets and become active champions in this vital campaign. Let us leverage the power of our communities, our cultural values, and our collective will to protect our present and secure.
I will be engaging the Asset Recovery Agency to see how best we can also make it more punitive, first of all, for those who are engaged in these acts, especially because they get very lenient fines. So maybe the best way is to take away the lorry, the car, the equipment, their businesses, their assets that they are built over time. It's important for asset recovery to appreciate that the law on the proceeds of crimes and anti-money laundering law is not only focusing on corruption. It also focuses on all crimes. We are going to sack people we have started sacking them, and they will go to court. Any chief, any police officer, any OCS whose jurisdiction is a drug haven will be dealt with according to the law. They will not be transferred. They will be removed from service. Those who are committing these acts will also be prosecuted accordingly.
The first one is the rising of the legal age from 18 to 21. The second is the banning of alcohol ads in the TV. We want our children to learn ABC and not SDU, which is substance use disorder. Banning these ads during prime time. We also want them to mandate them to put.
Now, it is important to note, because NACADA has released a statement just this evening following the public reactions on the proposals, that these are just policy recommendations. They are not laws yet, or are not in in the market just yet. These are just policy recommendations. So if you're an alcohol person, don't freak out just yet. Now, Deputy President KINDIKI has assured Kenyans that the government has no plans to cut funding for free primary and secondary education, promising enhanced financing for the critical sector. KINDIKI said the Kenya Kwanza administration will not roll back gains made in the sector, noting the increased funding allocated to the sector and recruitment of a record number of teachers since President William Ruto came to power in 2022.
Rais aliongea Sunday, mimi mwenyewe niliongea Sunday, na nikasema ya kwamba hatuwezi kukubali ati ile maneno tumepiga hatua mbele, mambo ya elimu ya bure irudi nyuma tena, na tutahakikisha shule zetu zote zitapata capitation ambayo inahitajika, ambayo ni 22,000 shillings. Every school will get its capitation. Na serikali huwezi cheza na masomo, kwa sababu tukicheza na masomo hapo ndio tu tamu italeta shida. Ama namna gani? Kwa hivyo sisi nataka niwahakikishie kwamba watoto wetu watasoma, na there is no problem. We'll make sure that schools get adequate capitation.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, is under fire from its members following complaints of unauthorized and unjustifiable deductions from July salaries. Teachers across the country have expressed outrage over a deduction labeled SWAL KUPPET Union, which appeared on their pay slips without prior communication or consent. In a letter addressed to the KUPPET national leadership, the West Pokot branch described the deductions as a betrayal, especially at a time when teachers are grappling with harsh economic realities.
Yesterday, teachers were expecting to smile all the way to the bank, so that because of the CBA increment. Unfortunately, as we are talking right now, there is a new deduction called KUPPET SWAL on the pay slips of teachers. The union deduction is supposed to be 1.8% of the basic pay. This extra payment that is on the extra deduction that is on the teachers' pay slips right now is illegal. It is not supposed to be there. So we are here to say that teachers are stressed, they are perturbed, they are confused, they cannot even think, they cannot breathe.
Telling the national office that we want that deduction to be stopped with immediate effect and the teachers to be refunded back their money. We are crying as teachers. If you look at the teachers' payslip, it has really been deducted. It is very slim. Mara, we have the SHA, we have the SHIV, we have the what do we call? We have the SWAL of KUPPET. Now we don't even understand.
The teachers are stressed. The teachers are distressed. The teachers, they cannot settle because the people who are supposed to protect their pay slips, now because that thing is reading SWAL KUPPET, it is like KUPPET has taken the money from its members, and yet they went and bargained for the CBA. So it makes no sense when we see that there is a deduction which is reading SWAL KUPPET.
Members of the Isiolo County Assembly have raised alarm over the gazetting of a 7 billion shillings budget, terming it illegal and unconstitutional. The lawmakers claim they were completely excluded from the 2025-2026 budget process and are now urging the national government and Senate to intervene in what they describe as a crisis in county governance. According to the MCAs, the controversial budget was pushed through by the County Assembly Clerk, Salad Boru, without the input or approval of the elected members. They also accused the clerk of unlawfully gazetting the Speaker, who was not elected by the House.
Budget ya 7 billion. Hiyo ni ukora ya hali ya juu. Ambazo tumesema serikali kuu. Hao watu wamefanya Kenya kama Republican bananas country. Na kama hii itaendelea, hatutakuwa na nchi. Sheria isipopatika Isiolo haitafanyika. Hakuna nchi ambayo tuko nayo. Kwa sababu kama hii kitu kitafanyika Isiolo, hata hizo county zingine zitaendelea kufanya hivyo. Sababu governor anapokosana na MCS ama akitaka kufanya kitu anapita njia shortcut. Si kitu itaendelea.
Kuna mikakati na sheria ambayo inaongoza namna ambavyo bajeti inapaswa kupitishwa. Ya kwanza, bajeti upande ya gavana na watu wake wanapaswa kutengeneza makadirio. Na baada ya kutengeneza makadirio ndio wanaleta katika bunge. Na wakileta katika bunge, kamati ambayo inashughulika na mambo ya bajeti katika bunge inapaswa kulete bajeti kwa nyumba ama ndani ya bunge na kuwasilisha katika bunge ili iwe rasilimali ya bunge.
Tulisikia mambo ya budget ambayo imepelekwa mpaka kwa Kenya Gazette, ambaye ni budget haijafuata process. Wale walikuwa naye ni watu wawili tu, watatu walikaa. Hata MCS wale wawili mheshimiwa anasema wako kuwa. Kwa sababu kuna siku niliona wakati tuko recess, niliona watu wawili wakiingia katika mbunge.
Na ule mmoja kutoka nje, nataka kuambia kwamba staff wetu wasichukue any command from Salad. You should not take any command from Salad. Salad kulingana ile kitu amefanya, vile anafanyia executive kazi badala ya kufanyia assembly. Sisi kama wale ambao tunafanywa kazi tumesema ya kwamba nyinyi kama staff wetu wale wengine, mtu yoyote asichukue amri yoyote kwa Salad Boru Guracha.
Bungoma Senator Wafula Wakoli has called for an official report in the Senate asking relevant committees such as Finance and Budget to provide clarification on how Bungoma County spent the Equalization Fund allocation for the 2021, 2022, 2023 and 2024 financial years. Senator Wakoli is demanding accountability and transparency in the use of these vital funds intended to uplift marginalized areas.
On the utilization of money from the Equalization Fund in Bungoma County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the matter of county-wide concern regarding the utilization of the Equalization Fund in Bungoma County in the 2021-2022, 2022-2023, 2023-2024, and 2024-2025 financial year. In the statement, the committee should address the following: whether the allocations for the marginalized areas in Bungoma County from the Equalization Fund in the year 2021-2022, 22-23, 23-23, and 24-25 financial years were fully absorbed and strictly utilized to provide basic services in the water, road, health, electricity, and education sectors. 2. The identification process of all implemented projects, including whether each project was identified through proper needs assessment and community engagements in the targeted area, and if so, obtain documents for the same. 3. The measures in place to prevent duplication or double funding of projects by the county government of Bungoma and the national government, and whether the implemented projects were integrated into the County Government of Bungoma Annual Development Plan and the County Integrated Development Plan CIDP. 4. Whether the selection of contractors and suppliers of goods and services for all the implemented projects complied with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. 5. The status of implementation of the projects, including details on whether each completed program was implemented within the original timelines and budget and attained its intended objectives, whether each ongoing project is on course for completion within the original timelines, as well as the steps being taken to revive and complete all stalled or abandoned projects. Senator David Wakoli, MP, Senator for Bungoma County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
President William Ruto has affirmed that Kenya will continue to uphold its strong bilateral ties with Uganda after signing 8 memoranda of understanding with his Ugandan counterpart Yoweri Museveni. Speaking at the State House, Nairobi, on Wednesday, President William Ruto maintained that Kenya and Uganda are focused on enhancing their partnership to bolster their socio-economic affairs. The two presidents linked MOUs to strengthen partnerships on mining, transport, quality assurance, agriculture, fisheries, urban development, tourism and trade. President Ruto intimated on the plan to commence on the urban development of the Greater Busia Metro project that will be undertaken between this year and 2028. This will entail building infrastructure in Busia and expanding the market since it is shared between Kenya and Uganda. The two nations will also focus on having joint mineral exploitation avenues to address cross-border smuggling.
Countries in Southeast Asia, big and small, Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Cambodia, all of them have got access to the sea. Wako karibu na bahari. Here, where the continent is fragmented economically, you have got countries like Uganda, Republic of Uganda, has no access to the ocean.
This occasion reflects the strength and historical partnership between our two nations, anchored in common ideals, deep respect, and shared ambition for regional stability and progress. Kenya and Uganda are joined together not only by geographical proximity, but also by a long-standing spirit of brotherhood and mutual support within the East African community. My deliberations with President Museveni spanned an extensive range of bilateral, regional, and continental priorities. We reaffirmed our united stance on closer collaboration in key sectors such as infrastructure, trade, energy, security, and regional integration.
All right, at that point, allow us to take a quick breather right here on EBN Prime Edition. We'll be back shortly with more news making headlines. Don't go too far. Urgent action from the Ministry of Education over a growing crisis in the sector. They want accountability for education funds, resolution of HELB delays, and support for students set to join in September. They also demand reforms in HELB, teaching promotions, and a review of the current funding model. The leaders are pushing for a student-led dialogue with education stakeholders to restore trust and sustainability in higher learning.
A short-term student relief option, tuition waivers, and hardship funds in response to this year's funding paralysis. We've heard from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance that they are currently experiencing problems with the financing of the students that are supposed to be joining in September. We are here to call on the government that we need to find a solution between now and the time that the new students will be joining in September?
We are students in this country, we are citizens of this country, and also we are the leaders of tomorrow. So we need these leaders to step up and do their work. And their work is making sure that if the students have been given the liberty by this country to go to school, let them be at par and make sure that all of us are getting equal measure of the same education by disbursing funds that are required by the students.
Kajiado County Governor Joseph Olelenku has hailed the government for ratifying the transfer of Amboseli National Park to the Kajiado County government. The decision follows prolonged wrangles and confusion since August 2023, when President William Ruto directed that the park be handed over to the county administration, a move largely opposed by conservation agencies. Numerous public participation forums involving locals, political leaders, and conservation agencies have turned stormy, with some constitutional analysts arguing that the president had overstepped his mandate.
Na watu wa Kajiado na Wakenya wenzetu tumejawa na furaha tele kwa uamuzi wa Mheshimiwa Rais kupitia cabinet kupitisha na kukamilisha ahadi ambaye mwezi wa 8 mwaka wa 2023 jamii ya Wamaasai ilimweleza president vile inastahili Amboseli kuwa na kaunti ya Kajiado. Tunaita historical injustice. Uamuzi wa cabinet jana ni jambo ya sisi kumshukuru rais na kusema hii ni ahadi ambayo imetimizwa. Tunajua kwa siasa kumekuwa na mazungumzo mengi na watu kusema Mheshimiwa Rais atimize ahadi zake. Tunataka kusema Rais Ruto ametimiza ahadi yake kwa jamii yetu. Na jamii yetu sio wale tu ambao tunaoishi Kajiado, lakini community ya Narok, Maasai wa Baringo, Maasai wa Nakuru, wale wanaishi Marsabit, Samburu, Laikipia, Isiolo, Kwale, Taita Taveta, wote wamefurahi na wale wanaoishi na sisi ndugu zetu, kwa sababu tunajua haikustahili buga la Amboseli kutoka kwa mkono ya serikali ya kaunti.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has launched an investigation into an alleged 144.2 million shillings graft scheme involving 6 members of the county assembly in Bungoma County. According to reports, the ward representatives are suspected of colluding to irregularly award construction tenders in their respective wards to companies owned by close relatives and associates. The tenders issued over the past 2 years are said to have resulted in incomplete or substandard projects significantly affecting public service delivery.
In the same breath, mimi nataka kusema ya kwamba hawa jamaa ile kitu inawafanya wanapigana zaidi kutaka kujua ni nani anakaa kwa kiti gani, ni vile wametoa most of the powers wametoa kutoka kwa executive, kwa sababu the role of the executive is to take a budget, and the role of the budget, I mean of the executive, ni kufanya miradi zote county hii ni executive ndiye inafanya. But all that we are saying ni kwamba the county assembly of Bungoma ni wao ndio wanafanya biashara na county, ni wao ndio wanatumia mbinu zao, makampuni zao ndio ziko zinafanya kazi, na ndipo saa hivi leo vile tuko hapa tunataka tuambie EACC ya kwamba let them not wait until mambo iharibike zaidi. EACC should move in and make sure ya kwamba any MCA ambaye ako anafanya kazi na biashara, anafanya biashara na county, ama wakienda katika maward zao unapata ya kwamba ni wao ndio wako wanafanya hizo miradi zenye ziko katika ward zao.
First Lady Rachel Ruto has welcomed the partnership between the Ministries of Education and Environment in supporting environmental teaching in schools. The two ministries have agreed to fully support the First Lady Mazingira Award, which was launched in 2023. Now, she spoke during the awards technical working group High Tea and interaction meeting at State House in Nairobi, where Basic Education Principal Secretary Julius Bitok said the partnership will cultivate a generation equipped to solve environmental challenges.
Our children are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the innovators of today. Through FLAMA, we are giving them more than a platform. We are giving them a purpose. And when you empower a child to protect the environment, you are not just safeguarding the earth, you are investing in a nation. Allow me to congratulate you for the excellent work done during the April Technical Working Group session that led to the adoption of the 2025 FLAMA theme, End Pollution, Conserve the Environment, which was unveiled on 5th June at Lenana School. Building on your thoughtful contributions, I'm excited to inform you that FLAMA now includes secondary schools, signaling a new chapter of broader, deeper national engagement.
I want to affirm the ministry's commitment, of its steadfast commitment to fully support the nationalization and national rollout of FLAMA as a model of best practice for youth-led climate action and environmental awareness. We will continue to align our resources, Your Excellency. I hear there is no budget. Expertise and partnership to ensure that the award is scaled, sustained, and embedded within our national environmental education and climate resilience agenda.
It is our schools, classrooms, where activities, movements, initiatives like this, where the seeds of environmental consciousness are sown and nurtured to grow into lifelong values.
All right, it's just about 1/2 the hour mark, and that is where we wrap it up tonight. Thank you for watching. I hope you're duly informed on what is making headlines across the country. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. God willing, God bless.